can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this. Two, hello, check. Where's that? Check 2, hello. Hello, are you there, folks? Are you there? Hello. What's up? It's me, it's your boy. It's your boy. How's it going, folks? I'm sorry for the lateness. Anime, thanks for 2 months of Prime. Anime. Oh boy. Thanks for 2 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Anime. How's it going? So I debated whether I can even like do a show today. I really don't have a ton of time here. I got probably a little over an hour here. Robin Atuka's peak Canadian content. You really just need the plaid shirt as well. You need the plaid shirt also. I'm happy to see you too, Sam. Yeah, as I said, I had to go. I left a little video in the Discord for people. If you're not in there, I had to go and drive to Cornwall, Ontario this morning to drop off my son. My son's going to be staying with my mom for a couple of days, so I had to go drop him off this morning. Wanted to try and make it back in time. It was difficult, obviously. But I thought, I can check in. We can have a little check-in. Why not have a little check-in? Why not? Why can't we? Is there a law? Is there a law that says I can't just do a little hour-long check-in? I don't think so. I don't think there is. There is, actually. Oh, shit. Shit. The stream police are going to come get me. The stream police are going to come lock me up. Well, that's it. So, okay, so, fuck. You go on these little drives. Cornwall's not that far. It's like an hour, 15 minutes, something like that. It's not too far. But I was like, you know what I'm going to do today? One of my favorite things, when you're on a little drive, you can stop to get the drive-through. You get a little drive-through lunch or whatever, which I enjoy. And you eat it in your car while you're driving on the highway. It's kind of nice. It's one thing that I kind of think is cool. And I somehow managed to fuck that up. I was low on gas. I stopped at the one rest stop on the 401 or the 40. It becomes the 40 once you get into Quebec. I stopped at the one rest stop that did not have like a restaurant. It had a Saint-Hubert, which was closed. So I somehow managed to screw up the one that, I passed so many restaurants. I passed so many McDonald's and Tim Hortons and drive-thrus. So many. Dozens. And I somehow managed to stop at the one rest stop with no food option. So now I'm back here. Get your head in the game. I know. I'm back here. I'm very low on provisions. I need to go grocery shopping. I got nothing to eat. I did make a very quick ramen because it's like the only thing that I have. So the whole thing was I'm a little behind schedule, the whole thing, I'm just running behind today. Running around like a chicken with my head cut off, as the saying goes. And I'm very tired. I slept very little last night. No, I'm not a late sleeper at all, actually. I went to sleep at about 4:30 in the morning and woke up at about 8. I just picked up myself a Chicago-style dog. That sounds nice. No, I was all energized last night. I was energized first of all, because I drank a night Coke. I drank an elusive, forbidden night Coke. And I watched this movie. It's this new Netflix movie with Julia Roberts. And Ethan Hawke. It's like Leave the World Behind or something like that, which was not great. It's not great. Decently put together, very good cast, some nice cinematography, some decently put together like moments of suspense and tension. Ultimately, the characters, even though the actors that are portraying them are terrific, kind of like unlikable characters that I didn't really care about, which I think if you're making a film about like this incident where you need to ratchet up the tension and you have to make people care about like the protagonists, which I did not. I was just like, I don't like these people. It has this very kind of like reactionary and nihilistic kind of worldview that it's advocating for. Incoherent politics. It was okay. It was watchable. You know, I don't regret watching it, but didn't really like it that much. It's very much lib shit. It is. It very much is. The central like thematic premise of this film seems to be people bad. People are just bad. That's why all the bad stuff's happening. That's why our society is on the brink of collapse. People bad.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
With no real effort to like interrogate that or like to talk about like which people or like, you know, to really interrogate any of the like the systems, the economic systems that govern our lives, any of this kind of stuff. Ben, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you for 25. Oh, sorry, not gifted sub. Excuse me. I'm so tired. 25 months tier 1 from Ben Bang Boom. Ben Bang Boom. Very kind of you. There's just too many people. Yeah, don't ask me to specify which people there are too many of. No, I mentioned I did a little letterboxd review of it after I finished watching it, but I think this whole idea of like people are just bad. That's why bad things are happening. It's like a liberal rallying cry because it's like liberals who have such unshakable faith in like institutions, in like the government, law and order, the NGO complex, our liberal superiors. When you don't want to interrogate any of that, or maybe wonder if you're part of the problem and the systems that you support are part of the problem, let alone like doing anything to try and fix that. You just say, "Oh, it's all bad. Everyone's bad. People are just bad," and that's the way you can just like kind of wash your hands of the whole thing and be like, nothing I can do. I guess I'll just like go on living my extremely comfortable, affluent lifestyle, I suppose, while just having this kind of like nihilism. Would a road trip from Detroit to Montreal be nice? I mean, it's a little far. It would be nice. I mean, the drive is not that nice. In between Toronto and Montreal, there's not a whole lot going on. But Montreal's a really cool place. So, I mean, it's a good place if you want to just go and come for a visit. It's a wonderful place to come visit. Anyway, I was energized last night because I was beefing. I was beefing with some weird conservative guys, which I've not really been like, haven't really been focused on too much over the last couple of years. And I broke my own rule about beefing, which is my single reply and walk away rule. I was just like, I was kind of fired up, and was this guy, what's his name? Red Steez. He's this Stephen Miller, but like the slightly less evil. He's the media dipshit Stephen Miller, and not like genocidal immigration guy Stephen Miller. You should teach someone you're beefing. You don't post the other guy's W's. Well, that's the thing. So I had a couple of tweets that were kind of like, I guess we should. Okay, let's do this for real here. Okay. I don't have a ton of time, so we might as well get into this.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Grok is woke, unfortunately.
I've heard that. Many people are saying this. Who is that? Jay, thanks for 20 months tier 1. I've heard that's very unfortunate. Thank you so much, Jay. Okay, here we go.
So they can produce peppers, or we'll suppose they can produce beef. Beef, 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 beef. The opportunity cost of beef, beef, beef.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beef, 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 beef. To get one more beef, 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 and we're measuring the sacrifice of beef, 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 and therefore I get one beef, 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 nothing but beef.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Beef, beef,
Beef, beef, beef, beef, beef, beef, beef.
beef, beef. Beef, 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 the relative price of beef. Beef, 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 beef.
It is. I got some spicy beef dumplings. Okay. I do have some spicy beef dumplings I'm eating right now. Diego, thanks for the gifted sub. I appreciate that so much, Diego. And thanks, Effusive Stoic, for 25 months tier 1. Thank you, Effusive Stoic. I appreciate it. So, I've had a number of tweets lately. Okay, just before I talk about any of this, I have a question for you. Do you see do you see a flicker? Do you see a flicker back there?
So we're down to it. We're going to talk about these things.
Oh my. What was that? YouTube autoplay. Some of you see the flicker, some of you don't. Okay. It's just I'm just going crazy. I have a 4K camera and I've just never been able to get it to work properly. It has this flickering thing. I've been trying to fix it. I can't fix it. I think maybe it's not getting accurate enough like power supply. I don't know if it's plugged into a USB-C port. I don't even know if I have a USB-C port. So I just don't know. It's driving me fucking crazy that I can't fix it. And I can't just, I look around on Twitch and I see so many people that just have fantastic looking video. And I got lights, I got a really good camera, and I just can't get it to look right. Now that I've pointed it out, people see the flicker. Okay, well, we need to work on that, I guess. I have to eat noodles while I talk about this beef situation. It's not that exciting. It's not that exciting. I was just laughing last night at some of the shenanigans, the antics. You know, it was fun. It was just fun to like get in a beef with some fucking guy that I hate. You know, it's enjoyable. So sometimes we just got to have a good laugh. It's true. So I've had a number of tweets lately, as you may know, that have kind of like been seen by pretty widespread audiences. And definitely I've been, speaking from the heart and saying things that I think are true and that need to be said, but also kind of like trying to provoke people at the same time. Like I've talked about it before in the last couple of weeks, how I'm like a little bit sick of the whole like respectability game. I see this bullshit about like you've been watching the lobby documentary that Al Jazeera did about how this is like the strategy with Israel. Every time there's like an uptick in like Israeli criminality or violence, anytime there's any remote effort on college campuses to like organize and promote Palestinian human rights, promote things like BDS, they engage in this very bad faith smear campaign, accusing it. Like there's this inverse relationship, or this, is it inverse? It's something. It's parallel. It's a parallel relationship where like the more violence and criminality that Israel is responsible for, the more we're talking in our media about anti-Semitism on college campuses and the scourge of the dangerous climate, the scary climate of anti-Semitism on college campuses, and how these students, these pro-Israel students, I don't want to give into their framing, because like what the framing is like, oh, the Jewish students feel unsafe, which is not true, because there's many Jewish students that don't feel unsafe and feel totally comfortable being correctly part of the pro-Palestine, anti-Israel, anti-Zionist movement. So I don't want to give into this framing and suggest that like Jewish students feel unsafe, but students that support Israel they feel unsafe, they feel intimidated by this. And this is what our discourse becomes about. It becomes about talking about the feelings of these fucking dipshit elite college students. And it turns into this whole narrative about calls for genocide. Calls for genocide on college campuses. We're hauling in the presidents of these Ivy League schools to these like show trials and suggesting that there's this rampant problem where there's these calls for genocide of Jewish people on college campuses, which is not happening. It's not true. It's completely made up. And that's like, yeah, as valued community member Red Scary said, if you support genocide, yeah, you can go ahead and feel unsafe or uncomfortable or intimidated. I think if that's the least of if that's the most that you have to worry about, well, I think you're doing okay, considering how some other people are doing around the world right now. I agree. I don't care if you feel intimidated. I don't care if you feel uncomfortable. I don't care if you feel unsafe. That's kind of my position. But I think maybe a few years ago, maybe I would have been, maybe all of us, right? We would have been a little bit more willing to like go, oh, well, geez, we want to make people comfortable. We don't want to be accused of anti-Semitism. We don't want to be accused of supporting genocide, which obviously no one does. But I think with the level of depravity that we're seeing right now, we're not doing this anymore. You know, and I'm speaking for myself. I know many of you feel the same way. We're not doing this anymore. We're not going to pretend that like this is a valid concern. We're not going to pretend that there's actually legitimate calls for genocide going on college campuses. It's just not happening. It is not true. And I don't even think a lot of the people that are accusing this of being a real thing are even genuine. Like it's all completely done in bad faith. So I, for one, am just completely tired of this. So I have a number of tweets lately that have kind of like referenced this. They've been seen by a lot of people. They've got a lot of comments. I had a tweet about this, where I said this bluntly. It's not happening. It's just not true. This has not happened. It's completely made up. And it has like almost 2,000 replies. Like I don't really look at the replies because it's just like, I don't care. But I know that they're getting shared around, and like there's a whole lot of people replying. There's a whole lot of people quote tweeting and screenshotting and saying all kinds of nasty things about me, which, yeah, again, I don't care. It's not nice, for people to call me an anti-Semite, which is obviously not true. It's not nice for all these fucking people to be like, you're fat. You're fat. Oh, you're talking about Israel? You're talking about like the Palestinians? Did you know that you're fat? You're a fatso? Fatty fat? Like, no, okay, that's not nice. It's not nice to have people that you don't know saying that kind of shit to you, but okay, whatever. People can say what they want. It doesn't really bother me. Like I've said before, when people that I don't like say mean things to me, it's just kind of like, okay, whatever. When people I do like say mean things to me, okay, well, that's something that I'll think about a little bit more. But I just don't really care overall. But one such tweet, someone tagged me in something, so I saw it, which is that fucking loser, Stephen Miller, Red Steez. And every time I see this guy, the only thing I know that this guy has ever done in his career as a conservative journalist, whatever he is, podcaster, is having a huge tantrum like 5, 6 years ago, when the Wonder Woman movie was coming out, and Alamo Drafthouse was doing like a female-only screaming of Wonder Woman, and this guy was just like so mad and upset by this, and made this whole big thing, and was like, "Ooh, I'm Mr. Trickster. I'm gonna get a ticket to this female-only Wonder Woman screening." And I'm just like, it's so stupid and pathetic, just like why that you would care that much about the Wonder Woman film to begin with, let alone this like trying to make some point about like misandry or whatever, because they're doing a female only screening of the film Wonder Woman. And this guy's like a 35, 40-year-old man. And he's like, "No, you can't do it. It's not fair. It's not fair." It's like having like a tantrum, like a child, over this like stupid crap. This comic book slop. The Zionist propaganda is woke. Exactly. So that's the only thing. Every time I see that guy, if he ever pops up with some bullshit take, random culture war stuff, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's that Wonder Woman guy. So he quote tweeted one of my tweets, and he just, without really saying anything about it, put a screenshot of my tweet about MS-13. About how I would rather my daughter date a member of MS-13 than a member of the Republican Party, which I guess was supposed to prove some point. I don't totally get what the point was. And I was laughing because if we look at the tweet, actually, a lot of the responses were just people like making fun of him. And he's got like 500,000 followers because he's part of the whole like media, like outrage propaganda machine, you know? So he's got that going for him. But I was laughing because like all the tweets are just people being like, "This is funny. This is funny to me. Why are you sharing this?" Let me find it here. I'm not going to go into the big intricate thing about this. It was kind of funny and silly. I'm not going to like go over every single back and forth or whatever. I was just having fun winding this guy up. Then I also, after a certain point, I also realized how totally useless it was, and like, he just, he has no honor. He's just a pathetic person. So every single thing that I replied to, he's quote tweeting and trying to rile up his like hog followers to like come after me. He quote tweeted me like 7 times, and he kept he has like a screenshot folder, I guess, of my old tweets from 2018, which is, kind of weird, I find. But okay, So I was just looking because like almost all the replies are just people. This guy's commenting on how handsome I am. We don't need to look into that. Just commenting on how handsome I am. Just so many replies of people being like, "That's cool. That's good that he did that, actually. Correct opinion." So I was just laughing about that. And then I just kind of I had kind of an enjoyable time just kind of having a little back and forth with him and, winding this guy up. I don't know. What else was I doing? It was Sunday night. Not a weird obsession at all. No, it was a weird guy. Definitely a weird guy. But then like, it got to be kind of bizarre. Because my friend Diana Thirst started commenting in this thread. And then, of course, he responds to her, but not to me, because he's like, for whatever reason. When I eventually called him out on me, then he started replying to me. But so my friend Diana Thirst started commenting in the thread as well. I don't want to look at some of these tweets, but like then he immediately goes to like, "Oh, you want to fuck him," or whatever, like making some kind of comment like that, because that's all these people are capable of like thinking about. she replied with some pretty wild shit that I don't even want to get into because I'm going to blush if I start talking about, because she kind of fed into this like weird psychosexual thing where I guess he was immediately starts thinking about like dicks and sex stuff. Like as soon as the back and forth starts going on, then she kind of said something that really fed into that in a very graphic way that I was like, oh my goodness. But then it started to be weird because then he like screenshotted that, and then I started to feel kind of weird and bad about it because I felt like all his weird like incel freak creep followers were starting to like go after her, and then I felt bad about that. So I realized eventually like I'm not going to keep this going. It was getting late anyways, and it's like I can't keep this going. This has now gotten kind of creepy. It was kind of fun, and now it's creepy. Now you have this guy sharing screenshots with like references to like fucking, you know? Now we got a whole bunch of conservative guys like getting weird kind of mental images and getting kind of like weirdly into it. Like getting weirdly into it, you know? It was kind of strange. So then I was like, okay, I got to move on from this now. I got to move on from this. But,
you can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Here we go again. Again soon I discovered that this rib thing was true. Jerry Lee Lewis was the devil. Jesus an architect previous to his career as a prophet. All of a sudden, I found myself in love with the world. So the only thing that I could do was rob a la blah.
Barry. Lenin's Lament. A.K.A. Barry. A.K.A. Brian. Thanks for 2 months of tier 1 and for all the support. Please, folks, if you can, follow Lenin's Lament, a.k.a. Barry, a.k.a. Brian. Trying to get off the ground as a streamer and had some good momentum going and then got canceled, got banned by Twitch. If you can, please give Brian a follow. I think we talked about he's going to be posting some of the stream links in the parasocial zone in the Discord server. So if you can, make sure you give him a follow. Ixnay on the Iron Bray. Well, I don't know. I thought I was allowed to. I don't even know anymore. I don't know what the rule is anymore. Anyway, that's when it came. It was fun for me to go back and forth with the Twitch, with the Stephen Miller, whatever the fuck his name is. It was hilarious too because I brought up the Wonder Woman thing, and then he was saying to me, "Oh, you have this like screenshot of my old tweet. What, are you obsessed with me?" Even though he literally shared a screenshot of me from 2018 with my old 2018 profile picture. But then it's like, I can't go get into a back and forth with this guy and go, actually, you did that first. And then it gets in this endless battle, and he's quote tweeting every time and riling up his hog followers. And I was just like, you're cut off. You're cut off, sir. You're cut off. I'm not doing this anymore. This is why my strategy of the single response is always the best way to go. I didn't listen to it last night. Usually that's the way I like to do those things, and I succumbed to my baser instincts. But yeah, when it started going to this weird sexual place, I was like, this is where I got off. Not like that. Not like that. Not get off like that. Like get off the train. You know? This is where I get off the beef. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Now I got a bunch of weird right-wing guys thinking about like my genitals. You know? That's not... I don't know why it always goes there with them. It's a little strange to me. They all have this like weird psychosexual thing going on that animates a lot of the things that they're obsessed with. Immigration and like all that stuff. It's all based in this weird like psychosexual obsession about like And you see this
You can count
in
on
Israel
me.
as
You're gonna
well,
have good
right?
old Rob
You see
to,
this
talk you
reflected in
through
the
all
Israeli
this.
propaganda
Beef, 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 beef.
about these like hordes, these Asiatic brown and black hordes coming to take away their women. Yeah, or their obsession with LGBTQ stuff. I mean, it's weird. I don't want to psychoanalyze any of these people, but they're fucking freaks. Moss, thanks for 33 months of tier 1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And again, not to get too into the details of what was said and what wasn't, because I don't want to embarrass Diana, because I think I felt a little bit bad that was getting like screen capped, and then she had all the kinds of freaks getting really excited about some of the stuff that she was saying. But it's also, they can't imagine that, someone would speak like that. And they were like, this must be like a sock puppet account. There's no way, because they see me and they see like a doughy soy boy, whatever it is. And they can't fathom the idea that like someone would be saying certain things, not to get too into the details. That was really something else. Anyway, that's all. It's just a minor little beef update. That's all. Nothing really else to say about it. Diana said she wanted to hold Rob's hand. That's right. That's absolutely right. Hot start to this episode. I know. Well, I can't even stay that much longer. I only have a little bit of time. I got a hard stop at like 3:15.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
No shit.
Pearl Badge Gang.
Hell yeah. Cinnamon Challenge. Truly one of the most valued community members. Thank you, Cinnamon Challenge, for 36 months resub at tier 3 and all the contributions, all the chats. Very happy to have you in the community. Cinnamon Challenge, congratulations to you on the 36-month Pearl sub badge. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So that's all. That's all that happened with the beef. It wasn't really that big of a deal. It was fun. It was a fun little exercise. Whatever it is.
To talk you through all this.
Happy sub day. I hope you're all well.
It was good timing for the cum badge. That's true. Thank you, NV Adams, for 15 months tier 1 as well. I appreciate that, NV Adams. What do the colors mean? Well, the shimmering golden sub badges are for 2 years and above, and Pearl, exclusive elite Pearl badge, that's the 3-year. For the truly elite community members. And listen, if you're watching right now, and you're new to the community, maybe you're not a subscriber, and you might look at these like 2-year and 3-year badges and be like, I'm never going to have the gold badge. I'm never going to have the Pearl badge. But I'm telling you, you can. You can. All it does, you got to start somewhere. You got to take the first step. Put one foot in front of the other. The first step is that 1 month. You can and you will. You take that first step.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Before you know it, it's going to be 2 years later, you're going to get the gold, and then 3 years later, you're going to get the Pearl. Sounds like a pyramid scheme. It isn't, though. That's the beauty of it. That's the genius. That's the genius of it. Svidler on the Roof, thanks for the gifted sub as well. Start on your bridge to clear today. Exactly. Except
you can
not
count
like
on
that,
me.
though.
You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Free Palestine.
Gwynny, thank you very much for 26 months tier 1. Hell yeah. Free Palestine.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
The worm god demands his monthly tribute.
Relic, thanks so much. 20 months of Prime. I really appreciate that, Relic. Thank you very much. I think the 48-month badge should be red. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to make any decisions on that. I got a whole year to figure it out. Anyway. Have you touched on the proposed UN resolution to circumvent the U.S. veto on a Gaza ceasefire? I haven't really, because I just don't really have the time to get into it. So, but here's what I would like to do later this week. I would like to watch the rest of that documentary, The Lobby. I would like to talk to Camilla. We're going to talk to Camilla of Kausachin News. I'm going to set a time with her today to do that, to talk about Canada, and also talk a little bit about Venezuela as well, and what's happening with that situation with Venezuela and Guyana. And how that relates to Canada, how it relates to Exxon, and kind of get into the details of that a little bit. And a lot more stuff to do as well. A lot more stuff to focus on. I'm just going to get some nice ice cold water, if you don't mind, folks. We do have a hype train going on, though, so if you can, folks, please subscribe to TRRS. Every little bit helps. I know it's just a short stream today, but there's plenty of more great content coming this week. Okay? Plenty more. I promise you that. Just one sec.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
The Rob hype train is where I get on, and where I get off.
That's where I got off as well. Thank you very much, Pathogen, for 19 months tier 1. I really appreciate it.
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Oh my. Kijiji Genie. Kijiji, thanks so much for 5 gifted subs. I really, really appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. I really liked actually seeing all the, in the Discord, all the year-end Twitch updates. All the biggest Rob heads out there, the biggest TRRS soldiers out there. Posting the end of year Twitch recap in the Discord. That was really cool to see. It's so cool to me that there's people that tune into these streams every day. The amount of fucking time I've spent on here talking about this stuff, and the fact that there's people that are here every step of the way, it just fills me with warm and fuzzy feelings right in the cockles. Red Wizard says they're the biggest Rob head. The rest are fakers and posers. My goodness. And those of us that would be here but only work from home 2 days a week. I appreciate the time in the stream.
We simply use the computer to mark
everyone
up
can put in
the
whatever you
size
got
of
to
the account.
offer. I appreciate it. Gald Greek, thanks for 300 friend coin. I really appreciate that, Gald Greek. Thank you. Want some more? I'm really quite tired. I'm really, really quite tired. Oh, one thing I can tell people too. On the way back, I was listening. On the way back from dropping my kid off, I was listening to Tanky Group Therapy from the East is a podcast. And I did. Those have been so great. They've been so great, Carrier Wave. And I did reach out to Justin Potter after when I got back, and I was like, if you need me to tag in for a Tanky Group Therapy, I'd be happy to do it.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
07.
Eddie Infamy, thanks for 11 months tier 1. So keep an eye out for that. It would be really cool to be able to participate in one of those. Edo2307, Mr. Edgelord. Mr. Edgelord coming in here with some edgy statements.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Thank you, Rob, for all your kindness over this last year. People like you make this a real community, not just people playing communist online.
Thank you, Lenin's Lament, aka Barry. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you to say, and thank you for the 500 bits as well. That's the amazing thing about this show and this channel, that there is a real community around it. It's something that I'm really, really proud of. And I'm so happy that people are part of it, you know? A lot of us are thinking of becoming Justin heads next year. He just rocks. Justin is so cool. Just another person, him and Seema as well. Two people that I'm just so thankful to have met. So I'm hoping I can get in one of those Tanky Group Therapies. And Edo2307, the IDF is more of a terrorist organization than Hamas or any other whatever bad guys, extremist group that you want to point out, have done more terror and violence than Hamas or anyone else could ever hope to do in an entire lifetime. So your words mean nothing. All this bullshit about Hamas, blah, blah. You just watch TV and you get your little programming from the mainstream media, and whether you're a liberal or conservative who are completely in lockstep about this, completely agree with one another about this. You have some media guy being like, Hamas bad. And then Edo goes like, yes, this is my own original thought. This is my own original thought. I'm going to go around to twitch.tv and waste everyone's time because I have this original thought. I'm a clear, original thinker, a free thinker. I've gotten my marching orders from my media masters, and now I'm here on twitch.tv going, Hamas. That's what you're doing. It's really sad, honestly. It's really sad. Why don't you think for yourself? What about that? Why don't you start thinking for yourself? That's what I would recommend. This clip's going into 826156's folder of Rob clips. I don't know, this shit just doesn't work on me anymore, you know? It's like, you support terrorism, you support Hamas, you support anti-Semitism, whatever these accusations. If you support Israel, you support the mass murder of children. So any insult, any accusation that comes from someone that supports this, like, absolutely indefensible criminality and violence, don't care. I don't care. Do not care. You support ethnic cleansing and the mass murder of children. Why would I care that someone that supports that, what they have to say about me? What possible reason would I have to care about that? I just don't give a shit. The IDF fucking murdered an Israeli because they thought he was a Palestinian. That's the amazing thing, Dr. Maggot. I think the incident that you're talking about, this guy breaks up a shooting. This Israeli guy, he has a gun. He throws his gun away. He calls the police and calls the IDF. He throws his gun away. He gets on his knees and puts his hands in the air. And they show up and he's like, I'm Israeli. I'm Jewish. I got a identity card. Don't worry, I'm one of the good guys. And they just shoot him. This guy thinks, oh, I know how to not get shot. What do you always say to the Palestinians? Like, what are they throwing rocks for? Why are they resisting? They did something to deserve it. This guy's like, I know, I'm Israeli. I know about Israel. I know about the IDF. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. You throw away the gun. Get on your knees. Hands in the air. You're not a threat. Scream about how you're Israeli. And they're just like, well, we're just going to fucking shoot you anyways. Because it's a disgraceful country filled with fucking barbarians. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do when these fucking violent thugs show up with the bloodlust up, wanting to shoot people. They're going to go and shoot people. That's what they've been doing for generations now. They're cowards that know that's all that they know how to do is shoot kids, drop bombs on apartment buildings, shoot people with their hands up. That's all they know how to do. Sounds like cops. Well, that's why there's so much crossover between the IDF and like training police officers and stuff like that. The Israeli left is a solution. I saw that as well. Yeah, the Israeli left is going to come to the rescue. Of course, the Palestinians have right to armed struggle, but not like this, though. Whoa. Not like this. Of course, we support your right to armed struggle, but not like this, though. Thank you. I'm sure they'll take that under advisement. Yeah, seriously, crybabies. That's the mistake you could point out that Hamas made in this situation, taking hostages, thinking that Israel would care, which they clearly do not. Just look at the ways that they've been like talking about the family members of these hostages, pleading, begging with Netanyahu to stop the violence, to just like release whoever you have to release. We don't care. Give them what they want so we can get our family back. And then they're just like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. Just a rotten place, honestly. I'm only going to stick around a little bit longer. I'm tired. I got other stuff to do. I got more content to make tonight. I got stuff going on right now. Okay, but I'm glad we could do this little check-in. This little brief check-in. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for that. There is only a measly 16 subs to go in case we wanted to hit the sub goal in this like incredibly short, low effort stream. I don't know, it's still possible. 16 subs is not that much. 16 subs is really barely anything, So yeah, it's a short stream. It's low effort. It's low energy. That doesn't mean that we can't hit the sub goal. No time to talk the in-season tournament championship game. I was disappointed Indiana didn't win. Indiana's a really likable team this year. They're really fun to watch. And it's crazy how good Tyrese Halliburton is. Like, he's just scary good. I was hoping that they could pull that one out. And it was quite close as well, as LA just pulled away at the end.
You
was
can
one of
count
those
on
games
me.
where
You're
Anthony
gonna have
Davis
good
was
old
just totally
Rob
unstoppable.
to talk you through all this.
Thank you, Comrade Bushy, for the gifted sub.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all
And
this.
thank you, Diego, as well, for the gifted sub. I really appreciate that from both of you. Very, very cool. Very kind of you. Halliburton 1.4 points per possession in pick and roll actions. He's a beast. His shot too. It's like he shoots those shots, and it's not really like a aesthetically pleasing shot, but he's just such a knockdown shooter. He's so talented. Would Jordan have celebrated an in-season tournament win? Probably, because he probably would have gambled on it. So he probably would have been really trying to cover the spread or whatever. I think the in-season tournament's going to grow. Like, I think it was always a bit of a tough sell this first year. I think it's the kind of thing that needs to have a history and a legacy. And like, as the years go on, it's going to become more and more significant and important. I thought it was cool though. It was a little weird. I didn't totally get it. I liked the different courts. I liked the kind of the intense feel of the games in these early season games. You know, I thought it was kind of cool. I was into it. Okay, I gotta go. I've got to go. Thanks for tuning in just for the little short stream, folks. I'm happy to have seen you.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Slightly tethered. Thanks for 23 months tier 1. Very close to the 24-month badge. Slightly tethered. Still only a mere measly 13 subs away. Really barely anything. This is the most low effort stream. I almost feel bad. I'm almost embarrassed at how low effort this stream was. We talked a little bit about beef, and no, that was fun. Weak stream is common for older men. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm not quite at that level yet. Okay, I might have some physical issues related to my advancing age. I'm still we don't need to talk about my stream,
You can count
okay?
on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
My stream is doing just
TRRS
fine.
Sankara.
MindFad, thanks for 10 months tier 1. I appreciate it. Thank you. Don't worry about my stream, all right? My stream's just totally fine. For now. Thanks again, folks. Give my regards to Leaping Larry. The stream message is glory to DPRK with whatever emoji of your choice. See you folks tomorrow.